Hi there, you've been invited for a job interview. Great news. You've been invited to do a presentation. Not so great news, for most of us anyway. Most of us hate doing presentations. So today I'm going to talk about tackling a presentation, even if it's the thing that you dread most in the world. So there's two things to think about before you begin. The first point is, why have you been asked to do a presentation? Two possible reasons. One is that presenting is part of the job. If it is, and you hate presenting, don't go to the interview, save yourself the pain. The other reason, which is much more likely, is the interviewer setting you a challenge, and actually it's a really good challenge for them, because by assigning you a presentation, they can see whether you can follow instructions clearly, how you communicate, can you think on your feet, can you use a piece of software well, can you do independent research, how do you engage with others, and how do you handle pressure. So from their perspective, it's a really good task actually. The second thing you need to take into consideration is, what is the brief for your presentation? So it might be something quite vague. I mean, a friend of mine was once asked to deliver a presentation on anything you like, which I think she did very well. More than likely it'll be something a bit more specific than that. It'll be something related to the business that you want to join. The other consideration, of course, within the brief is, how long should it be? If they've asked you for 5 minutes, it has to be 5 minutes. If they've asked you for 15 minutes, then that's what you've got to do. So if you've got a clear set of instructions, be sure to follow them. If it's an open brief, you can put your own spin on it a bit more. Before I go through the tips for delivering a presentation, I'm going to let you in on a little secret from my nearly 15 years in recruitment. And here it is. The successful candidate is almost always the person that's prepared the best for their interview. That's really important to understand. So they might not necessarily be the best person on paper, they might not be the slickest presenter or the most charming person, because interviewers can see through those things. The person that goes the extra mile with their preparation shows commitment, passion, enthusiasm, and these are very desirable characteristics to have in the team. So when you're doing a presentation, it's a chance to show off how much preparation you've done, so keep that in mind if you're nervous. So we're going to go through the tips now. As you can see, there's a nice picture of me here preparing for my presentation. Okay, so number one, excuse me, follow the brief. We've already touched on this, obviously. There's no point pouring your heart and soul into a lengthy presentation if it doesn't deliver exactly what's been asked of you. Following the brief is part of the assignment. So remember the reasons why you've been asked to do a presentation, and one of those things is following instructions. Use this as your starting point and your finishing point. Number two, prepare and practice. Okay, so use your presentation to show how much research you've done. So don't stop at just reading the company's website. Read customer reviews, press articles, really go the extra mile. Memorize a couple of key points that show the depth of your research as well, and make sure you insert those into your presentation, because that's going to really impress the interviewer. And also practice your presentation. Practice it in front of an understanding partner, a kindly friend. Just practice it in front of someone. Get them to grill you. Get them to hit you with some questions afterwards and give you honest feedback as well. And make sure you do this probably at least twice. The third point is to embrace technology. Some of us are less familiar with things like PowerPoint or other presentation tools, but again, if you think of that as being part of the assignment, why have you been asked to do a presentation? It could be that you never have to use PowerPoint in the role, but if you're set a task where you have to learn a piece of software or learn something new, can you do it? Can you rise to the challenge? So do try to do it. And my key tip for this, not being very technical myself, is to learn the basics. You can learn them from a friend who's got the skills, or you can learn it from an online tutorial. And just try to learn a couple of little tricks that will make your presentation look cool. If you've got an amazing graph or something that moves on the screen, it really shows that you've gone to a bit of extra effort in your presentation. So that's quite important. The fourth point is breathe, smile, and make eye contact. All of these things are very important. It's okay to be a little nervous. It's okay to admit that you're a little nervous. A well-timed saying, bear with me, I haven't done this for a while, or bear with me, this is quite new to me, accompanied with a smile, is likely to be greeted with patience and understanding by the interviewer, and it buys you a little bit of time to gather yourself. And the fifth point is just to be yourself. Remember what I said about the successful candidate being the person that has prepared the best. That's really important. I can't state this enough. In my experience, the person that's prepared the best, they might not be the slickest presenter. They might be someone that's a little nervous. They might be someone that's awkward or a little bit uncertain, perhaps. But they're armed with all the knowledge that they've gained from the preparation. They've got energy and enthusiasm that will carry them through the presentation that perhaps isn't something they massively want to do. And fundamentally, the interviewer is looking for someone that they really want to work with, someone that's got a personality that's going to gel with them. So, completely be yourself, inject some personality into it if you can. So I hope these tips have been helpful today. If you would like to read any more about this topic, please follow the link in the comments to my article about interview presentations. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.